everyone, I'm Sailaja Menon from Openminds and welcome to Mind Talk. Today, let's talk about grief and loss from the perspective of the recent weeks of our lockdown due to the outbreak of COVID 19. When we hear grief and loss, most oftentimes what comes to our mind or what we connect to is a loss of a loved one. But grief and loss is a lot more complex than that. As we are all bracing through the days and weeks of being in lockdown and not being totally certain of what is in store, it is only normal for our sense of grief and loss to heighten in ways that we feel difficult to explain. Grappling with any kind of loss can involve immense grief, although the loss we are experiencing might not be necessarily tangible. At a time like this, what most of us are experiencing is a collective loss of normalcy. We feel we have lost a sense of routine and structure, schedule, connection, and a certainty about the future. Simply put, a loss of our assumptive world, what we have got used to, and a deep need to get back to the world we knew and lived in. The world we had got used to, the world that gave some sense of meaning and purpose to move on, and now all of that is shattered and we are in a state of pause, not knowing what to expect and if our assumptive world will ever be the same. With such intense and immense uncertainty, it is only natural that most of us, if not all, will experience anticipatory grief, knowing that there might be some more to come and the state of uncertainty could linger longer. As you are listening to this talk, if you think you are experiencing this kind of grief and loss, here are five top symptoms to watch out for and a few coping mechanisms to handle them. So, firstly, feeling anxious and edgy all the time. Due to the uncertainty looming over us, there's a constant sense of something bad is going to happen, or you might find yourself being hypervigilant and constantly scanning for threats. For example, you get startled when someone around you sneezes or coughs. You get upset when someone does not wear their gloves or mask, or you tend to move far away when someone comes close to you trying to maintain social distancing. Please remember, some of these are certainly normal reactions to an abnormal situation. These can, over a period of time, if not challenged, become persistent anxiety. So, staying emotionally regulated with positive self talk is vital. The second symptom could be feeling angry for reasons unknown. All of us will agree that working out of home was a fantasy and something many of us long to have as an option. However, we have also quickly realized that this option has totally lost the charm it had as we have got so exposed to it in the past weeks that it has heightened our irritation and anger for no reason at all. For example, we find ourselves unable to balance home and work tasks. We are finding that sometimes when we go to a grocery store, our favorite item is not in the store as it's gone out of stock. We start finding small obstacles to be so intolerable. Remember, some of these are normal reactions to an abnormal situation. So be gentle and kind to yourself. The third symptom is expecting the unexpected. You're in a state of persistent stress because you're constantly preparing for the worst case scenario. You're ruminating constantly on scenarios and situations that you anticipate will happen in the coming weeks. It is important to note stress built over a period of time can impact your immunity in negative ways and therefore so important to practice self-care, especially at a time like this. Being organized or prepared is definitely good, but constantly ruminating over what if can be exhausting and stress-inducing. Therefore, find a mid ground to stay the course. The fourth symptom is remaining isolated. You just don't seem to have the desire or the mood to mingle or to interact with people. When you're feeling overwhelmed, unsure, and fearful, it's very normal that we stay away from people and stay in our thoughts constantly. However, it is important to remember the more you stay in isolation, the more you are susceptible to getting depressed or feeling anxious. It is important to remain connected with people who could be a support to you and make sure to have firm boundaries around those who could be more discouraging than supportive at a time like this. Remember, you are the priority, so take care of yourself first. Last but not least, feeling tired and exhausted. We are talking about anticipatory grief here. Therefore, it is normal for our body to go into a fight, flight, or a freeze mode indefinitely. This is because when we are threatened, like the situation we are in today, our body prepares us by releasing stress hormones that gets us in a state of alert to deal with the threat it arises. So when that threat arises, however, being in an activated state of alert, it can be exhausting and tiring, all the more when you hear many others coping and doing well during this phase. For instance, you call your friends, you call your family, and you speak to people, and you hear that some of them are doing really good. They are pursuing their passion, they are getting involved in things that they have not got involved in before, they're making the time to do things that they have been wanting to do. And all of this really puts you in a very sad mode. Remember, what you are experiencing is normal to an abnormal situation. Therefore, keeping yourself safe and secure is your first priority. That is good enough for now. Everything else can be pursued later. Therefore, do not compare and remember you are doing what is expected out of you. Stay safe, stay home. Remember, some of what you might be experiencing are normal reactions to an abnormal situation. So be gentle and kind to yourself. This will also pass, and it will certainly pass. On that note, I think we have come to the end of today's Mind Talk. Our next talk will be on rituals. And what I'll be talking about is how does rituals help you to cope and stay grounded during this time? Stay home, stay safe. Signing off until next time. Bye bye.